Hi guys, this is part 5 of the video series that I've done on my tractor trailer accident, where I was rear-ended by a tractor trailer. If you're just watching this video, less than a week ago, a guy stopped in the middle of the interstate up near on the other side of Charlotte for a tire tread. He stopped for a tire tread. And I managed to stop, but the tractor trailer behind me couldn't and rammed into my Ford Focus hatchback, completely destroyed the vehicle. The insurance company has not contacted me yet. I apologize, shaking the phone. Anyway, insurance company has not gotten in touch with me yet, but I know without a doubt it's totaled. It's a 2007. It's definitely, even if it weren't, it'd be totaled. Anyway, so much has been going on. Yesterday I went up to collect my stuff, drove my truck up to collect my stuff out of the Ford Focus, and right as we got there, the truck started acting up. Anyway, it more or less broke down, wasn't behaving right, couldn't drive it, so I had to get another Uber to bring me 2 hours to the area that I'm in now. So right now I'm into Uber for about $550. Anyway, this morning, my truck's in the shop waiting to get repairs. Right now I'm just driving a friend's car. Anyway, I'm still looking for another car. I haven't found one yet. It's been really, really busy. Anyway, I just got done with the doctor. I just went to my eye doctor today. My glasses were damaged in the accident and broke them, so they're just been taped up, you know. Anyway, so I got my eyes examined. I picked me some frames. They weren't really the frames I want. I mean, I liked them. I did like them. I like the color. I like them, but I kind of wish I'd had more time, you know, to maybe really go through a lot more frames, you know, and try a lot more on. But, you know, and with COVID, you know, every pair that you try, you know, it's not like before where, you know, I could try on 15 or 20, you know, I could try on a bunch of pairs. Now it's more restrictive. I mean, you know, because every pair that you try on, they have to sanitize. So, you know, there was a couple pairs, you know, I picked up. I kind of looked at them, and then I looked at them first, and then I was like, okay, no, I don't think I'll try these. No. I could just put these back on the shelf, you know, or put them back on their little whatever, their rack or whatever, you know, so they don't have to go in and like sanitize every single pair, because every pair you try on, they got to sanitize. So I was like, yeah, so there was a couple pairs I just looked at and then went, nah, I'm just going to put these back. But anyway, I did pick a pair. They're not bad, you know. They're not bad. I also got myself some reading glasses this time, so I walked out with a $350 bill. That good chunk of change, but better than the last time. Last time I paid $250 for one pair. So I think that I did pretty well considering. And you know, the pair I picked, there was like 2 pairs. They were in some kind of a special. So I was looking at another pair, but I was waffling between the one pair, you know, and the other pair, and the gal, she recommended the rep. She recommended another pair, which was the second pair, which I did like, but not quite as much as the first pair as reading glasses. Anyway, I decided against that because they had 3 pairs exactly alike. So I picked a pink pair for my day glasses and a brown pair, which I didn't like as well, but they're exactly the same thing for reading. So anyways, I think all total $350 wasn't bad. Anyway, I'm getting ready. They dilated my eyes, so my eyes are blurry. I managed to get out of the eye doctor parking lot and got across the street to a little place with some stores and stuff, a shopping mall parking lot. And she said it'll take about 4 hours for my eyes to clear, so I'll probably be here for about 3 more hours. and there's a little store there, and get me a little snack if I want. Here I can get myself a little snack, which I might do, because I'm going to be stuck here for about 3 more hours until my eyes clear up, because they put those they have to dilate your eyes, and then, and then your eyes are blurry for like 3 hours or 4. She said it would probably take about 4 hours anyway. So I'm going to be here a little bit, just sitting until my eyes clear up enough to be able to drive to my next appointment, which is at 4 o'clock, my doctor's appointment. That's to do with, deal with some, I'm not in excessive pain, but I am in some pain after the accident. So I definitely want to deal with that. And there's a couple other things I need to talk to the doctor about as well. So I decided while I'm sitting here, I've pretty much wrapped up everything. I have yet to hear from the insurance, I heard from someone, but I think that's not the adjuster that I need to talk to. Anyways, so I haven't heard from the adjuster yet. And of course, I haven't heard from the repair shop on my truck yet. None of that. So, I think that's about it. I'm going to go over some of the cars, go over, probably do a little slideshow on some of the cars I've already tried out, and tell you a little bit about, some of their downfalls or what I don't like. I will say that this particular car I'm in right now, the front seat, I just, was so tired. In fact, the other night, I slept in my truck, and I just slept in the front seat. It's an extended cab, so it wasn't too bad, but it would have been great if it had more leg room. It was a little narrow in the seats, for a pickup truck, but it's a smaller pickup truck. Anyway, I think as I put the last video, I showed you a picture of my truck. It's a GMC Sonoma 4x4. But anyway, this particular car, I just was tired. So I slept in the front seat, and I've done that plenty of times. And my Ford Tauruses and my Ford Focus and my Chevy Impala, and they were quite comfortable. The Focus, a little less so. It's a little small, but my Ford Tauruses and my Chevy Impala were great, but this car, not so much. Anyway, so I think tonight I'll sleep in the back seat, see if it's any more comfortable, because it just wasn't comfortable in the front anyway, or wasn't that comfortable. Anyways, love driving the car though. I like driving. It's not bad handling. Anyway, I'm going to, I guess, stop this little video and then go into the slideshows and tell you a little bit about some of the vehicles I've already tried. I will tell you in this video that way back, it was a couple months back, I test drove, and I think I've talked about this before, I test drove a Chevy Impala. I really liked it. It was a 2007 Chevy Impala. It had been in a couple of accidents, but whatever. Anyway, I really liked it, but when I test drove it, the front end had there was some popping in the front end, and the price was good, like $7,100, but regardless, I didn't want to buy, it had some popping in the front end, possibly wheel bearings, tie rods, I don't know, but I didn't want to buy a car that I was just straight out of the gate taken to a repair shop to have work done. If it hadn't been for that, I probably would have bought that Impala, because I owned a 2008, and I really, really like them. Anyway, and I'm telling you could sleep in the front seat of one of them, and they're just fabulous. They're just comfortable. Never tried in the back, so I don't know, but they are really comfortable. I don't know if they have split folding seats. I don't think they do, so that would be one downside. If I ever wanted to make like a bed or try to make a bed into the trunk, that wouldn't work. I do know that I've looked at a couple of Ford Fusions. I know they do. I looked at a Hyundai Sonata. I know it does. Anyways, I looked at the 2000. Anyway, back to the beginning. I test drove the 2007 Chevy Impala. That was a no-go. The one next to it, 2009, I really wasn't interested in. And I did test drive a 2004 Buick Century, which I really, really liked. I wanted that car. It was only $4,600. It only had like 100,000 miles. That was an unbelievable deal, but it was a main car and it had rust. So I had to pass on that one too. Anyway, now I'm going to go to my next, whatever. And I'll go from here. I'll see you guys later. Hi guys, I'm back. I actually fell asleep. I put the seat back and I just slept. I didn't sleep really good last night, so anyway, I went to sleep. Not too hip on sleeping in the front seat of this car, maybe because it has a power seat. But anyway, doesn't matter. I'm not gonna have it that long. Anyway, I've got about a little better than an hour before my next appointment, my doctor's appointment. So I thought I'd do a short video. The next little slideshow that I'm going to do, that is of the car that kind of started this whole downhill mess of me having to look for another car. I mean, I would have probably still had to have maybe looked for another car because I lost my Ford Focus in the accident. But this is what started it all back in, like, I started looking in December. It's a 2006 Ford Taurus. I've owned it since 2007. I bought it right after my first 3-car accident that I had back in 2007, and I've driven it. I haven't driven it a lot. Maybe that's the problem. But anyway, I have driven it. I was in 6 months after I purchased the car, I was in an accident, and the insurance company, since it was paid off, the insurance company, they called it a total loss. I decided to keep the car and have it fixed. Maybe that wasn't such a smart idea. Then about 3-4 years ago, when I was out in California, when at first I was in Carson City, Nevada. I mean, I went to California. I was in Carson City, Nevada, and I had a front end hit on the car. On the way back, anyway, I was going through near St. Louis, Missouri, and I got rear-ended. Right after the rear end, it wasn't a bad rear end hit, but it only did, like, it just scruffed the bumper, really. It really didn't do, and kind of knocked the trunk lid out of alignment, which I eventually had fixed. Anyways, right after, though, electrical problems started. The windows weren't working properly. The radio would come on and go off, you know, without me ever touching it, things like that. And it was like the very next day. So when I went to the body shop for them to do the estimate on the damages, I told them, but they went, oh, no. The rear end hit would have nothing to do with it. So I don't know if it did or not. Then about 8 or 9 months ago, last year, a little less than a year ago, I was driving it. I went to Pennsylvania. I was on the way back. I was in Tennessee, and suddenly the theft light came on, and that's where the problem started. Anyway, I was driving it, car jerk, theft light came on, and then after that, when the car got hot, the theft light would come on, and it would die right in the middle of the road. So anyway, and then I had like a whole complete, I've already done the video on AAA Nightmare, and that's the one where my car, that was the 2006 Ford Taurus, it died in the left-hand lane in Tennessee while I was trying to get, back to North Carolina. Anyway, first, my then boyfriend wanted it to go to his brother's because he works on cars. He didn't know, he thought it was the PCM. So I got it towed to a Ford dealer, and they said it was the cluster. Anyway, that wasn't it. It didn't fix it. Ford tech people told them to replace the crank sensor. That didn't work. Eventually, they did agree to replace the PCM. That didn't work either. So they continued to work on it, trying to figure out what was wrong with it. They did say that it would run for, instead of the 2 or 3 minutes, it would run with me, it would run about 30 minutes. But anyways, they finally called me up in December, and they said, that's it. We can't work on it anymore. We'll get with you after the first of the year. So when they gave me the news that the car was not fixable, they did not know what was wrong with it, I started looking for another vehicle at that time, and that was in December. And so the first slideshow is of the Ford Taurus, 2006 Ford Taurus. I've owned it for, like I said, since July of 2007, right after my first 3-car accident. Hi. In this next slideshow, I went to a Chevy dealer. Now, I don't have any pictures of the first cars I test drove. The very first, it's at the same Chevy dealer. I went on 2 different occasions. The first car I test drove was a 2004 Buick Century with only about 100,000 miles. I really liked it. I actually really, really liked the vehicle, but it was a main car, and it had rust, and it had visible rust. So they were only asking $4,600 for it. So anyway, so it was a great deal, but with the rust, being from Maine, and with the rust being visible and everything, I mean, just, having rust, there's no way to know how much underneath the vehicle was rusted. So as much as I didn't want to, I rejected the car. I did like it. It was a good running car. It run really, really well. It was just, I really liked it. And I think after a few days after I test drove it, I think they reduced it even more. But regardless, I couldn't take it because it was rusty. I went back on a second occasion, and I test drove a Pontiac Torrent SUV. I really, really liked the Torrent. It was a really, really, I really liked the SUV. But, I really, really liked it. So anyways, but I lowered the seats, the back seats. I wanted to see if, you could make a bed out of it or whatever. But it lay them flat, so it could, you could, put like padding and bedding and whatever into the back hatch and the trunk hatch area of the SUV. It wasn't big enough. It just was not big enough. It was really a nice, nice SUV. I love the way it rode and handled. I can't remember how much they were asking. It was also a really good deal. I think it was around 6,000, 7,000 maybe. I had like around 140,000. It was a good deal, but it just didn't have enough room in the back. So as much as I liked it, I rejected that as well. I looked at a Honda Element. It just, it wasn't big enough. So I rejected that. Let's see what else. I think I looked briefly at a Ford Escape, but didn't really give that much attention, because it just anyways, because I actually had one briefly way back in 2007, and it wasn't comfortable. I didn't really like it, and it's not big enough either, so I rejected that. And that's the main one, the Pontiac Torrent. I also looked at, I think they had a couple of little, one lot I went on had a couple little Ford EcoBoost. I can't remember which lot that was anyway, but everything you see as far as the Chevy dealer I went to, I ended up rejecting. Another thing, they didn't really want, at the time I wanted to trade my truck, and they didn't really want to take that either, but they were having an issue with that. But anyway, the main thing though, and the truck really was a non-issue, because the Pontiac Torrent was what I really wanted, but it just wasn't big enough. Oh, the other one was a Dodge Grand Caravan. It, miles were a little high on it. I liked it, but miles were a little bit high. And I think, and the money was a little much for the mileage, and I think so. That was kind of it was a little out of my price range, because I'm paying cash for the car, so I had to reject that as well. So anyway, that's the next slideshow. The Pontiac Torrent I really like. The Dodge Grand Caravan. Anyway, this is the next slideshow. Okay, guys, I'm back. The next slideshow, or the next 3 slideshows, are at a Ford dealer in Gastonia, North Carolina, which is up near Charlotte. Anyway, I've done business with these guys before. Anyways, The two main vehicles that I test drove that I really liked was a Hyundai Sonata. It was actually it was a good deal. 2017 Hyundai Sonata for, I think, around $11,000. So that was a good deal. They also had a GMC Acadia, and that one I really, really liked. It was a 2015 GMC Acadia. I put the seats back. It would have worked perfectly for, being able to put a bedding down in the back, because it was really big. The whole trunk hatch area was really, really large. Had a lot of cargo space. The seats went down almost flush. Anyway, the three main vehicles I test drove at that particular dealership were that one. Also a Kia Sorento, which it was SUV as well. I did not like it. It didn't go down flat. I just did not like it. It was squirrely. I didn't like it. When I went in, the first car I drove was a Hyundai Sonata, which I really liked. It did have split folding seats. So, I could have, you can make you can lay bedding down and make a bedding area into the trunk. I don't think the trunk was quite as large. The trunk wasn't as large as a few that I've looked at. That was one thing I didn't like about it. So the second one was a Kia Sorento. I didn't like it. GMC Acadia, that was my personal favorite, but I think they won $17,000 or $18,000 for it. And I had I was having because of my credit, I did have a hard time getting the credit for, getting the credit on the next amount, on the amount I couldn't pay. And I was just a little iffy about that. Anyways, I ended up, I also asked I was going to test drive a Nissan Altima. I got that. I went in initially, that was the Hyundai Sonata and the Nissan I wanted to test drive, but they didn't have that. There's a Ford Fusion in there. It's a pretty nice car, but the person that owned it, it was a smoker's car, and I just could not I do not smoke, so I couldn't tolerate that. Subaru Legacy, I test drove that. I didn't like it. Let's see what else. I also looked at the Ford EcoBoost. That was just kind of it handles good. I liked it, but it's too small. It's kind of like a sort of like a little, it's like basically like a Ford Focus but taller, or a Ford Fiesta but taller. That's what it is, a Ford Fiesta but taller, and marketed as a compact SUV. Anyway, in the end, I had to reject I spoke with them. I decided to try to go through my own bank to get the financing, because I have dealt with dealerships in the Charlotte area before, and they will oftentimes pull shifties through what is called spot delivery, and that happened to me with a Ford Escape, where they will let you drive the vehicle home, and then they will turn around and say, oh no, you can't get, you think you're approved for the vehicle, but then turns out you weren't approved for the vehicle, and they tell you that you couldn't get approved, and so you're going to end up with something else. And that's how I ended up with my Ford Focus. I was trying to get into a Ford Escape. They turned around, the dealership I dealt with in Charlotte turned around and said, no, you can't get financing for that vehicle, so this is what you qualify for. And it turned out to be a Ford Focus. And the first Focus, they tried to, and I told them I didn't want either one of them, but I had put $5,000 down as a down payment, and they refused to give it back to me. I was alone. I didn't go with anyone else. I really didn't have a choice. I had to return the vehicle to them because I didn't get approved for the Escape, and there really wasn't, I really didn't have many options. I really didn't have any option. And the first Ford Focus they tried to pawn off on me was one with manual windows, and I just told them, it was a gray one, four-door. I said, I don't want that. And so I made kind of a stink about that. So they did find me one. They went and found one in Jacksonville, a little red hatchback Ford Focus. And anyway, that wasn't my pick. I went in for a Ford Escape and ended up having to get the Ford Focus. Don't get me wrong, I love the little car. It took me a while to get used to the car, but I really did in the end love it, and it was one of the best cars I ever owned. So I'm not really complaining about that, but I wasn't prepared to do a spot delivery or what I call bait and switch. You think you're going to get in one car and you end up having to get into. Anyway, I wasn't prepared to, I wasn't prepared to go through an experience that I had before with my Focus, where, I'm thinking, I'm going to get into the GMC Acadia, and then maybe they turn around and they go, oh no, you don't qualify for that. You're going to end up in this, Ford EcoSport or Ford Fiesta or whatever other kind of, something that they could pawn off on me. Because that's not what I chose. And I made the decision. I decided that the GMC Acadia was really what I wanted, but if I was going to have to do financing and take the risk of a bait and switch or spot delivery, which I've had happen to me before, I decided I wasn't going to take that risk. I would rather go out, and I did look around for another GMC Acadia. There aren't that many. There aren't that many GMCs, so I didn't find really what I was looking for. I know the Honda Pilot is another good comparable option, but it's much more expensive. But I did find one or two Acadias, but they were too far away, so I ended up having to, just screw that idea. Anyway, I did like the Hyundai Sonata, but I decided, with the trunk space, it just wasn't, it wasn't maybe really what I was looking for. It did have split folding seats, but didn't quite have the trunk space I wanted. So I could have paid cash for that almost. I was still pushing it at $11,000 because I really wanted to stay in the $7,000 range. I know that's not a lot, but and your options are more limited at that amount. But I figure that, if I look hard enough, sure, I can find something in the $7,000 range that will suffice. I mean, at least for now, for a couple of years, 2-3 years. Anyways, so anyway, the Acadia, the Hyundai Sonata I liked, but decided against that one. The Acadia I wanted, but decided that I would probably be better off to find one that I could pay cash for than to buy, to try to get that one and get to financing through the dealership and end up maybe possibly screwed like I was in the past, because that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to walk away, and I wanted, if possible, I wanted to walk away with the vehicle paid for. That's really a number one for me, because if something happens and I lose a source of income or can't make the payments, I don't want to be in a scenario like I was in this scenario with another car, a Chevy Impala. I was upside down in the loan, couldn't trade it, couldn't sell it, couldn't do anything. And it was, and then the transmission went out at $72,000. So that was a real problem, and I don't want to be in another situation like that. I don't want to be in a bait and switch or spot delivery. I don't want to be in a situation where something major goes wrong, like it did with my Impala. And then, I can't, and then I was the only one making the payments. My ex-husband wasn't making any payment. He wasn't contributing to his share of it, and I had to shoulder the whole burden, and it was just not a good thing. And I don't want to be in another situation like that. I want to be able to walk away and have the car paid for, even if it does mean that I end up having to buy something a little older, and and I may end up having to within a year doing repairs. I mean, I don't want to do that, but I also don't want to end up in a loan where I'm upside down, and maybe if I lose income, I can't make my payments. I just don't want that stress. So anyways, so that's the main reason I rejected the Acadia. I decided I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through bait and switch, spot delivery, upside down in a loan. Let's say I get it, and and I don't like it as well as I thought, and then I can't trade it. I can't do anything with it. I'm stuck with it. So no, I don't want that either. So I decided to reject it. If I want to, look around for an Acadia, I can't find very many of them, so I don't know that I'll find one. But anyways, so that was my last experience. Also they were, again, I was trying to trade my pickup truck, and they didn't want to take my pickup truck on trade, so that was another issue as well. So as of right now, anyway, I'll be back with you. I'm still looking. I'll be back with you guys later. It's almost time for me. I have to go for now, and I will be back later. I have my 4 o'clock appointment I've got to get to. So see you guys later. Hi, I'm at the doctor's office now. Doctor's already went over some of the stuff as far as my back pain goes. Right now I'm just drinking a bunch of water so they can do a urinalysis for my, see if I've got a urinary tract infection. And they scheduled me for an appointment at one of their procedure clinics to take a biopsy of a spot that's on my face. Anyway, so I thought I'd just share. I'm waiting to have to go to the bathroom. Anyway, he says it doesn't look like that. Hopefully I didn't do, I guess, too much damage in the accident. I hope. I'm definitely going to go back to the chiropractor, though. That's going to be important for me. Anyway, so I'm gonna be here just a little bit longer in the doctor's office till I can urinate, and then he's going to call me in some antibiotics, and then, you know, once I go to the bathroom, do it. Anyway, I'll be out of here. So I'll be back with you guys a little bit later. Hi, I am still in the doctor's office. I'm just waiting to go to the bathroom, drink enough water so I can go. This next video is of the Chevy Malibu that I went to look at another dealership. I can't really remember why that I rejected that. I think it was because I just didn't, I actually like Chevy. I prefer Chevy, but I like Chevy Malibus more. I mean, Chevy Impalas more than Malibus. Anyway, I find Malibu a little bit squirrely, a bit, not as much as the older ones. But anyway, I think one of the reasons was, again, they too did not want to take my truck. So I'm not really sure what that's about, but it's an older truck, so maybe that was it. They didn't want to trade it, so I said, okay. And I think, if I remember correctly, the Chevy Malibu was also out of the price range. Anyway, I do have a couple more videos and a couple more slideshows of other vehicles that I've test driven and looked at since then. So I'll be back with you later. Hi, I'm just now leaving the doctor's office. I finally had to go to the bathroom. You know, all that water that I had to drink is now starting to run through me. Unfortunately, I had to drink this horrible chlorinated water, and I hate that stuff. It gave me heartburn. Anyway, my next stop, I'm headed to Walmart. He called me in a prescription of Bactrim, which is an antibiotic, for the off and on urinary tract infection. I also have an appointment next Wednesday at the procedural clinic to get a biopsy done of the spot on my face. Anyway, so I'm headed to Walmart now. Also, the next slide shows you're going to watch. I went to a car lot and I test drove a Buick Enclave first. It didn't have enough room. I test drove the little Buick Encore. I was just curious. It's not big enough. I also test drove a Buick Century. I mean, not a Buick Century, a Buick LeSabre. It's a nice car, but it's just too big. 2005 Buick LeSabre, 88,000 miles. It's a nice car, but it's just a little big. For the heck of it, I test drove a 2011 Toyota Camry and a 2012 Honda Accord. Both of them were kind of out of my price range. I really would like to have them, but they were out of my price range. I looked at a couple more. They had another Chevy Impala, but it was a northern car, so I rejected that one. And I test drove a Ford Fusion. I haven't really decided yet. I really want, the Toyota Camry only has 33,000 miles, and the 2012 Honda Accord only has 67,000. So they're both great deals. And the Buick LeSabre is a good deal, but I just think it's too big for me. I mean, I guess big is good, but I don't really like it. I mean, you know. So anyway, I'm going to think on it. I don't think I can get any kind of loan from the bank to get the Accord or the Camry. If I can, maybe. If not, I'll have to choose something else. I know there's a car lot across the street who also has a Buick LeSabre for sale as too. It's brown though, and I don't really like brown, which is kind of crazy, I guess. But the one that this particular lot has is white, and I like white. So anyway, I'm going to think on it and maybe go to another car lot or two. I've pretty much exhausted my options. I'm at that point now where, you know, I think, oh, and the other car lot also has a Buick Lucerne, I think. Buick Lucerne or Buick LaCrosse, I don't remember. I know a couple months ago he had an older Chevy Malibu, and I don't really like Malibu. It's very squirrely, so I didn't like it, but it was a great deal. It was only like, it had 135,000, only 4,000 bucks. So it was a good deal. But anyway, now I've kind of got it down, narrowed down. Like I said, the Buick LeSabre. I really would like to have the Camry or the Accord. I don't think I can get that. Both of the Buick LeSabres kind of fit into my price range. And he also has, I think, the guy across the street has a Lucerne, a Buick Lucerne or Buick LaCrosse. It too, I think, is in my price range. Now, this same lot that's got the Accord and the Camry and the LeSabre also had a Lucerne or LaCrosse maybe like a few days ago, and it was a great deal, but I missed it. I've test driven it a Lucerne before. I didn't really like it. So anyways, the LeSabre was okay. It wasn't bad. So now I kind of got narrowed down. If I can't get the Accord or Camry, then I've got narrowed down to one or the other LeSabre. You know, or unless I like the Fusion, but I'm not sure about that. I don't want to do Ford. I really don't want to go back to a Ford, because that Ford Taurus I had was such a problematic car. And the other one I had, that my ex-husband's driving, it's just on its last leg. And it didn't have that many miles. I mean, the one on its last leg only has 154,000. The other one only had 130. And I'm just sick about having to send a car that's a 2006 to the junkyard with 130,000 miles. I mean, unless I can find a mechanic that can fix it. But until then, I still have to purchase. I still have to have something else. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I'll probably be back with you for a short video a little bit later. But this is pretty much going to wrap up this part 6. Hi, I'm at my last stop of the day. I'm getting ready to go into the store. I'm going to get myself some fruit, and I've already got a few potato chips, a few crackers left over from last night. Anyway, and then my ex-husband gave me a couple of zingers. Anyway, and then I'm going to head out to the truck stop. Amazingly, last night I bought myself a tuna fish sandwich. Got in the car, and I looked and looked and looked and could not find it. I'm just like, I don't know, amazed. Anyways, didn't find it. Finally tonight I find it. I'm like, well, it's too old to eat now. I mean, I'm not going to eat it. I mean, but my ex-husband, he gives a lot of his leftovers and such to the dog next door. So I'm sure, her name's Zoe. I'm sure Zoe will get the tuna. Believe it or not, the dog likes tuna. Let's see. Last night I slept in the front seat of the car, and I wasn't that comfortable. I think I need to adjust the seat a little bit. I was going to try the back seat tonight and see how that does. I thought, hey, I'll try the back seat, get myself a pillow, whatever. I went to Walmart. I did find myself a travel pillow, but I didn't get any bigger pillows. I just was really tired, and I just wanted to, I grabbed myself a travel pillow, a dental guard, because I don't, my other one got destroyed in the accident and was too old. I need a new one anyway. So I'm going to do that. Anyway, I'm going to head into the store. I'm going to head into the store, get myself some fruit, and then I'm going to head out to the truck stop. So this is the last video of the day. I'm not going to do any more. I went, of course, in the previous videos you saw, I went over everything that I did. All the cars and such that I've test driven. After this video, I will do 2 little slideshows, and the first slideshow will be of the car that I wrecked, and that's only because this is part 6 of my accident and being hit by a tractor trailer. And the second slideshow will be my pickup truck. The one that for some reason, the dealerships, anyway, I haven't really been able to trade it, but now I don't think I'm going to trade it. I'm going to keep it. So anyway, I'm going to get off here now. I'm tired. It's not really that late, but it's not really that late, but I am getting very, very tired. I did not sleep good last night. I fell asleep in the car earlier today. So anyway, I'm going to get off, go eat. After this, you'll see the 2 other little slideshows, and this is going to be it for today. I hope everyone has a good day, good night, and God bless.